Hello, once again. This is Streetian's podcast. Welcome to a new episode. It's your boy, the boy, and we're back on this grind. As usual, we are talking about relevant issues that are happening in our communities, on the internet, and in the entertainment world, and even in politics. But today, we are facing more of entertainment topics, and we're going to be talking about the recent scandal or news that has been going on about Davido and a couple of other music artists too. We want to just share our opinions on what is going on, and we also want to talk about it within the context of what is essentially obtainable now in our society. Morality. We're going to be talking a little bit about morality, about standards in the society, and we just try to explore different angles. It's not with the intention of adding more insult to the injury of anybody, but we just want to create a platform where we can all share ideas, learn, and move forward. So joining me today, as usual, is my co-anchor, Emmanuel Ade, and we also have Hafeez Odunuga is returning, and we have Olashade and Peju to joining us today to rub minds together. And so, please introduce yourself in a bit. Let me start with Folashade.
Okay. Hi, this is Folashade. Folashade is female.
Yeah.
Um, she doesn't
Tell us a
like
bit about your
troubles.
background.
Well, Folashade is Nigerian. Yes,
Okay.
although an Igbo girl with a Yoruba name. Well, that's another discussion for another day.
Okay.
But a practicing architect and looking to do better though. So
Okay.
and hoping to be more impactful on the podcast. So
Okay.
that's
Thank you for
majorly
joining
about
us.
Folashade for now.
Yeah. Thank you for
Okay,
gracing us with your
you're welcome.
presence. So Peju, tell us a little bit about you. Let our audience know a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Peju. I'm a student of Unilag.
I'm a cockite.
Yes. I'm troublesome a little. Um, I'm here to just spice things up this night. That's all.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And if I will add to that, you are also here to defend Davido's honor.
Yes, 30 VG. Hi.
Okay, so let's jump in quickly. Yeah, so basically the news that we've been hearing over the last, I think, 2 weeks now is basically from a lady called Anita Brown. She came out to say, oh, she's pregnant for Davido, and it was not just about, oh, I'm pregnant for this person. It came with a lot of baggage about conversations between her and Davido, talking about Chioma bringing a lot of things that one would assume is supposed to be personal to Davido's life, and bringing it out in the open and talking about it. As a matter of fact, the part that even got me feeling some type of way is the way she exposed the chats, the conversations between them. And largely, or at least from my own research about the whole thing, I've not actually heard Davido say something directly about it, which kind of gives this vibe of, okay, wait, is she lying? Is this saying the truth? But generally, for me, it's creating this whole new narrative, because on one part there is the Davido issue that is coming out. On another part, a week before then, there was the Banky W issue, which I was even making a joke the other day that one of the people that benefited most from the Davido's gist coming out is Banky W, because a little of the spotlight shifted away from him and went to Davido. But I think this generally creates this trend, and I want us to basically look at how that trend, why we are here today, why has the entertainment industry become this today. And we can go as far back as Two-Face and Annie with this whole thing. Why do we think it has become like a common ground now for this kind of gist to come out concerning our entertainers and why are people like, for instance, why are people like D'banj and that we think are the actual bad boys? Why is it that things like this did not happen to them. Ade, do you want to like give us a background to all this?
I'm opening ground. It's all right. Just like you said, would have expected the Coco Master, the Long Master, to be the one, scattering everywhere. But apparently, likes of the Coco Master, Nyanya, always talking about wit and everything. Feeling scatter everywhere. Yeah. But when it comes to the people singing, the Sakaro,
and and assurance.
Assurance, Mr. Monica. So it's actually funny. And it's actually, I think it's a place of person. Because one way or the other, whether we like it or not, some people drop training, some people continue with training. We understand that there are different levels to their financial stability or their financial growth or their forces. We understand also that there are different levels to their pain. But something we know is, some people are real good at holding up and sucking up their balls in their pants. While we have the other set that, let's test. The electrician, so we are testing everywhere. So generally, when we want to look at the case, we have an open case of and I think it's kind of let's bring in Baldwin into this case, but let's just talk about how it is. I think it's kind of predominant between the younger set. If we want to go real back, probably we'll talk about Shino Peters and the rest of it. But one thing that was really relevant was probably their age or time frame. They were all really young and open to the fact that they wanted, or should I say, there were a lot of women talking around them at the same period of time when they were really flourishing in their time of music.
And then there was no self-control.
So while flourishing so much in their time of music, having a lot of women around them. And one thing I would like to also indicate is that these guys kind of busted the ground all over again. It wasn't that those grounds were not there, but it busted those grounds open all over again, which is the grounds of having tours around the world. So they were open to so many women at the same time. I think
it was not just local champion anymore.
Exactly, it wasn't just local champion concept. So before then, people that actually did bust so much ground were people like Tomi Adi, Fela. Those are people that were doing international tours on a blue, P-Square too. So when they came in comparison to the people around them, they really did. It was more like blowing up. The real concept of blowing up. They actually did blow up. So it was a different concept from the regular nice singing to become a Grammy winner, but isn't going on international tours as expected, and the rest of that kind of stuff.
So basically, this crop of you're saying that this crop of musicians or entertainers are living the dream of the people back in the day, and now so it opens up a new level of fame for them. I think Peju wants to say something.
Hi. So what I wanted to say is that you said that why is it that they are not attacking other people? They're only attacking Davido, Banky W. Maybe let's just put it like this. Like, it's only people that have glory that they attack most times. Shining glory. So
no, are you?
Yes.
But
So,
wait. I know
I'm
you're a
not trying to
Davido
say
fan.
other people that have
Wait,
glory. I'm just trying to say people that are still hot. Like,
are you saying that Davido didn't do anything wrong with?
No, he's a dog in his own way. But I'm not trying to support him. I'm just saying normally he has scandals every year that comes up for him. So if you see from his lyrics, we said over them all is Davido is still going to defeat all his Goliaths and everything. So he knows what he's doing. He's a man. It's a normal thing for
Okay.
men to cheat.
Calculator. They
So
receive
what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah.
the band owned to passed one time. He had one scandal one time. But maybe he's not just into women like that. Or maybe his own time has not come. But Davido
But
own
that
is
is
a
true
normal
too.
thing. If it's not woman today, it's something else tomorrow. So it's a
Yeah.
normal thing.
But okay.
How would you
Shade, you want to say something?
yeah, how would you say the band's time has not come? I don't understand. Like,
Because the man has his own. He has his own.
Wait,
He
Peju,
has his
are you
own. He's
saying
a man. He's a
that maybe
man.
there's something that other people are doing that it's just that we've not heard the gist yet?
Exactly. Everybody has their secret cupboard. So until your own gets unlocked and it comes out, that's when people are like, oh my God, is this true? That's like,
Okay, Hafeez, I want to bring you in now, and what I want to ask you is this: is it for if you look at what our society has become? Okay, like Peju said, almost everybody has one scandal or the other. Has that created a kind of situation where the morals or values in our society has become watered down in such a way that, oh, we know what, no matter how bad it is, well, they will soon talk about somebody else's own, so it doesn't matter. Is it as a result of our values being watered down, or have we become more forgiving as a society that, okay, you know what, nobody's above mistake, anybody can do anything wrong, so let's not kill that person? Because I know back in the day, when somebody does something bad, or when there's a news about something, there's this castigation that comes, and that person too becomes quiet. It's just like, go and sit down in the corner and just keep quiet. But these days, when those things happen, they just come out. They'll be like, well, they'll talk about another person's own soon. What do you think is creating this kind of this sense of what we are seeing right now? Is it values and morals fading away, or have we just become more forgiving?
Well, to start from where Ade stopped and Peju too. The issue we have, I believe we have today, is individualism. Everybody wants to be the person of their self, not to be judged, not to be castigated, just to live your own life. The truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, you are just all on your own. However, if you are just all on your own, what brings us together as humans, that is the value, the culture we share, the tradition. If we relegate all of those, then then we can't say, okay, we have a sane society, because it is not as if we've forgiven it. It is the matter of, let me just leave this person to their self. Let me just leave this guy to himself. You see people living in the same house, brothers and sisters, and they'll be like, now in getting life making. Do you get? So
Yeah.
first off, the issue of all these entertainers, infidelity has always been like this. Actually, uh, I didn't mention Fela. Fela took in like 20 something wives. Um, I
Yeah.
Most of us have seen Ayinla. I don't know, maybe you've
Ayinla
seen
Omowura.
Ayinla.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie about
Mhm.
Ayinla.
Yeah.
It was woman. In fact, it was woman that cut his glory short
Mm.
in the end. So it has always Barrister too. Barrister had a lot of kids. So infidelity has always been something of that comes with fame.
Ogologo.
Let's just
Mhm.
so if you are famous, uh, ladies tend to flock around. And Peju said something, but I'm not going to come for you. But however, if you say if you say it is a thing of the guys to cheat or something, who are they cheating with? Are they cheating with guys? No, they are cheating with females. So females encourage. If normally, if you see a guy with cash, Rolls Royce today, okay, if you see someone with Camry, you can say, get out. It's not your
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
You see another person with Vans, that you be like, the guy they try, sha.
He did try.
Guy, if somebody drive RX 350 2022 by your side, you give that person second thought. If you that's just driving by your side. If the person asks you to enter and you enter,
And that's within the
you
context of just being rich, not even fame.
just being rich. That's where I'm coming to. So riches brings, okay, for example, now look at, I'm just taking, it's not, this is not a disrespect, but look at our current Oni of Ife. Look at the caliber of women that are flocking around. Look at the caliber of business owners, PhD holders, big women, and yet they still want to. So it is. I see it as it has always been there for any human being with either fame, especially fame. If you have fame, in fact, you might have money and nobody would want to maybe follow you, and but fame, people want to meet. So it's normal thing. However,
So okay.
let me finish here that the concept of individualism, don't judge me, don't has also encouraged that fact, because at the end of the day, if you try to judge Davido, if you that behavior, if you try to judge Davido, they'll be like, do you have what Davido has? Put yourself in Davido's shoes. Your uncle is a governor. You are a US citizen. You are a US citizen. You have albums that are topping the Billboard. Blah blah blah. You have this. You have that, and you be like, you are not in his shoes. So that alone, they've singled you out. That if you are Davido, you might do worse. So don't judge him.
That concept.
Yeah, Peju, you can jump in. You want to say something?
Okay. What I want to say is that normally, us ladies, we love money. So let us breathe. Don't suffocate
Let the
us.
ladies breathe.
Because if we don't love money, who will you spend your money on? I don't understand. Obviously, a guy that has money, you have more women around you, and that's more temptation. So if you accept all your temptations, you're going to die early. So how would you put it on us? Don't put it on us. Let us
so
breathe.
basically what you're saying is
I like that.
yeah, what you're saying is it now comes to the guy to have self-control, even if the
Yes.
ladies are flocking around him.
Yes. Know who you pick. Know who you will stay with.
But you also
in this life.
go on, Adi.
Because in this life, we know that some people are handling self-control, but some people are now doing more than your self-control. You know that you can be forming self-control, be holding your game, be forming walls, be creating fence around you. All of a sudden, like 3 people will now connive and do range attack for you, do missile and everything. You don't see all those combinations. This world, they don't penetrate. You know that.
Shade, yeah, if you look at it from the perspectives that have been brought out now, where would you put the blame the most? Do you think that, especially with entertainers, women go the extra mile to like say, you know what, I want to be with this man, I would do whatever it takes, and then which makes it difficult for the men or the entertainers to have, let me say, self-control? Or do you think it is still the same with everybody? Men are just being men, money or no money, fame or no fame?
Well, with the recent things that initially you would think once it has to do with money, because there's this thing about men. One, that money gives you some form of social class, right? So money, then if you are fine too. But then we all know Davido is not fine, but then he has money, So that's
now money be fine, Bobo.
no, but we're saying
Peju wants to object to that statement.
Please answer, please.
They said now money be fine, Bobo.
Davido is not answering. It's just we all know it's just money. You classify them together, but money is good and all. So if we look at our society today, even the churches, the ones that post their wives, my wife is it. In fact, once I see a man posting, my wife is my glory, my wife is almost, oh no, because they are the ones that are worse, you know. So I don't know.
Wow. Wow. I just got to know this one now.
No,
Okay.
seriously, like
Okay.
once you see men that talk a lot about their women, about their wives, is always like a red flag. We are not saying don't talk about your wife, but when it comes too much, it's like they are trying to justify, maybe
Overcompensate.
make up for their, yeah, they're trying to make up for their lack,
Yeah.
Or
their lapses,
inadequacies.
you know.
Hmm.
Yes, but what I get to understand is that once there's money, and then if you don't have self-control, the truth is, even when you are broke, we might all think, oh, this guy is calm and all those. But we've seen people, boys that are broke and still have baby mamas everywhere, you know.
Mm.
It's just that habit. Now imagine when they now have the money.
Mhm.
So at that point, you can't even control them. You can't even tell them what to do and all of that. But in the case of Davido, we're not saying people like Whiskey, the Two Face, and all those, they don't all have their dramas. But in the case of Davido, I'm even tired of, like, I believe it's just his own publicity stunt for me, because I've studied it over time, and I've noticed is when he wants to promote his album or something, that you would always hear one woman come out. Even with Chioma too, is when he has to promote his album that he started the whole Chioma this, Chioma that, you know. And then if it's not Chioma this, Chioma that, Chioma my everything, then it's either someone coming out to say Davido cheated on this. And then why should it be almost an every year kind of thing? Or why should it be an almost every album kind of thing? For me, he was trying to chase clouds with even Wizkid at some point when he tried still this is album issues. I know Wizkid, that one doesn't have sense, but he just ignored everything. But for me,
Ah,
it's just
Whiskey FC
Ah,
fans will come
wait.
after you.
Whiskey.
I'm a
Wait,
Whiskey FC. I'm a
wait,
Whiskey FC,
wait,
and
wait,
trust
wait.
me,
Have
he
you
has calmed
forgotten
down.
these guys? These guys are
Whiskey
Surulere
that we
guys.
know of the days
Yeah,
of
you're in the midst
Ndaikeji.
of Surulere guys.
Whiskey
Peju
Ndaikeji's
want to jump
time.
in.
Whiskey of Ndaikeji's
Okay.
time is not the same whiskey that we have now. So why I said he doesn't have sense or something is that he ignored the whole PR thing with Davido. Because if you notice, Davido tried bringing him in. Oh, we've made up, we've done this, we've done. Oh God, just let it go. Promote your album, and people that will listen to you will listen, you know. And I just feel like all these baby mama things, it's just drama and it's just PR. It's not like I even feel like even Chioma is part of the whole drama. Well, this is just what I feel like. It might not be real. I don't
That is a
house.
huge conspiracy theory, though.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. I don't live in the
Hey.
same house with them.
American film plot.
I don't live in the same house with them, but you know, when things become reoccurring,
Mm,
you said you know go tire. People will say, oh, if you have a man that is giving you the whole money, you too, you know go talk.
mm,
You would have a blind eye towards whatever is going on. So I just
mm.
feel like, oh, it's even part of the package. Maybe she has some funds that oh, once there's PR or God, these stories will come up. Oh yeah, just take this one out. We're not saying Davido doesn't cheat. We're not saying every most of these other guys don't have flings or don't do other things. But my own is that why does he always come out when he has to promote an album? Like we're tired of the whole
That's what
story.
I want to
I'm
say.
I'm tired
It's
of the
not
whole
when he
story.
wants to promote an album. This one is different. This one's an attack. Like you can see, it's an
Oh
attack. It's
God,
not
there's
planned.
So
no
it's a
attack.
And
town
if
hall
that
that
came
is
out
different.
coming to come
So
and ruin his album, he didn't come out to come and promote the album. She came to ruin it because he had tour coming up. And everybody thought whether he's going to cancel it or something like that that is happening to his marriage, or his marriage is going to crumble and the rest.
Oh
And
God,
the
madam,
album,
go and
Timeless
study the
album,
video story.
does not need to be
Go and
promoted.
study
It was
his
it,
PR
it has like
policies,
1 million
everything.
views back to back. So it does not need promotion. It does not
Oga
need
is still part of
promotion.
the promotion because it
It's
will be
not
trending.
bad. It's not
It
bad.
will be
Anita is
trending.
a
Davido
witch.
just
It's
wants to
not
be
bad.
trending, and this thing helps their music.
Mm.
It's a PR thing. By the
Okay,
time he wants to put
but do you
something,
want? How about we
like
look at it
there's a
from this
trending.
perspective? And Hafeez, I
Yeah.
want you to settle this argument now. Do you
Yeah.
think that because I believe that it is there's a like we said the other day that two things can be true at the same time, right? But
Mhm.
now I want to pose that as a question. Do you think that in a way, even though of course nobody wants negative things to be said about them, in this case, maybe Davido and a lot of other people like or take advantage of these things when they happen. Say, okay, well, I didn't intend for this gist to come out, but well, now that it's out, no problem. People will talk about me more, and it works for me. Or do you think they particularly orchestrate it and have that kind of lifestyle just so that their gist can be on people's lips all the time?
Referee Hafeez, over to
O-
you.
Okay, I would say I would go with the latter because the way this it's a what do they call that? It's paparazzi. Social the entertainment world is paparazzi, and paparazzi means something that always like come to people's mind. People would have something to talk about. So
Attention
most of the
grabbers.
times, yes, most of the times you should create something buzzing about yourself. If not, you are going to the backward. You are being relegated. So some are being orchestrated actually. Some have been orchestrated because just like Shade said too, why is it that most of the time that wants to do anything, that's when you will hear something about him. Or I actually haven't noticed that. Eh, I haven't actually noticed that. Maybe you want to drop an album, somebody can come out. But however, because okay, I also have a little bit of things about in entertainment. So I understand that people pay um people pay influencers just to create a buzz. Even to the extent of politicians too, they do these things at times. So they pay PR people just push this story, push this narrative, so that everybody would trend me on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok. So at the end of the day, then people would know, okay, if you look at it from this perspective, if a musician drops a single, maybe he had said, okay, I'm going to drop this single at this time. If the single does not get the kind of attention that person wants, the next thing they do is they will say they want to do maybe a dance challenge or something challenge,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, that's what will push that music or that particular project to where they want it to be. So
Mm-hmm.
in a way, in its own way, it's PR. And for either political person or an entertainer, no PR is bad PR.
Mm.
All PR
No
is good.
PR. No PR.
In as much as it's going to, because at the end of the day, just like we said from the start, so another thing will come up and everything in fact we don't want to talk about something for too long, for like a month, like we just only
Mm.
have one issue. No, we want to have
Short
three issues
attention
in a
span.
month.
Mm.
The head that short attention span kind of. So I would say sometimes it is being orchestrated so that it can create that paparazzi, that buzz, and
Mm.
whatever you want to chip in at that time, maybe it's a project or something, you just chip it in.
Yeah, people. So essentially, at that point, people will become more interested in the other things you are doing
In
because
the other,
anyway, they are
thank
talking
you,
about you anyway. But you go on.
thank you.
Okay, you talked about dance challenge. Unavailable challenge is still on, and that was the best paparazzi for Timeless album. Like everybody is still dancing to it. Anytime when you hear unavailable, the challenge comes to your head. So me, I don't see Anita's scandal and everything as promotion. To me, I just feel she came out whenever she wanted to come out. She just wanted to come out to just make the video look like a mannerless person and someone that does not have control. So she came out as an enemy, not like their friends or something. So I'm not sure this one is even dealing with promotion of the album at all.
Okay. So what you're thinking is that fine, they may be oh wait, let me ask this way. Do you agree that in some instances, some of these scandals that come out, they use it to their advantage, even if this one may not be set up that way?
Yes, that's what celebrities do. Not only Davido.
Okay.
That's what most people do.
Okay, that now that leads me to my next. Now this one I'm going to put it out there. Anybody that wants to jump into give their 10 cents about it and go on. Now, where we are now in this world is, or let me say Nigeria, because I'm more particular about Nigeria and our society and everything, because it seems like when there's this mindset that when something is going on, do you know what they'll talk? Like I said earlier, they'll talk about somebody else tomorrow. Don't worry. Do you think it is encouraging bad behavior, even apart from celebrities? Because apart from celebrities are there basically as people that we look at, we watch, we follow. We may not have their resources to be able to do exactly what they are doing, but we cannot say that we cannot deny the fact that they influence us and they influence young people and young minds. Do you think that this behavior and this idea that, you know what, don't worry, no matter what you do, they'll talk about someone else tomorrow, do you think it's encouraging bad behavior? And what impact do you think it is having on the new generation of people that are growing up? Because back in the day, I know that when you want to do something bad, it's not like they don't do bad things back then. It's not like there's no scandals back then. It's not like there are no young people making mistakes or doing bad things back then. But then you always have the fear of if they find out, you want to hide. And if, for those that they caught doing those things, you know what they had to go through. Hafeez, okay, you want to say something about that? What do you think? Do you think is encouraging bad behavior in such a way that people don't even care anymore? Like you can see someone. I think during the pandemic, if I remember, there were a lot of people doing this challenge of twerking on Instagram, and people were taking off their clothes and doing like that. As a matter of fact, I don't want to mention one or two names of people that actually got their popularity and became quote unquote influencers from doing that kind of thing. In a system where we are rewarding that behavior with fame and relevance, what impact do you think it is having on the future or the upcoming generation, if at all?
So I'm going to say it's a very negative impact. Sorry to say, I was talking to someone just a day or two ago, and she was like, she's a UK returnee too, and she was like, all these things we see as issues are not issues, shouldn't even be an issue. We are not forward thinking. And I told her, see, we are sorry to say that this is a cultured society, and there's this concept of diffusion. That diffusion is when you are bringing some concepts or some way of life from other places into your own place. It could be in civilization, it could be in science, it could be in anything, but diffusion is occurring to our culture more faster than any other thing. And this is the thing. If you are imbibing culture of places that are advanced, that some problems, some behaviors is not a problem to their society, and you are bringing it to where some behaviors is a problem to your own society, then it's going to affect us negatively. And this is it. For example, we know, we can't deny the fact that internet fraudsters are everywhere. Now, let me take it from the angle where you said we might not have the money or the wherewithal to live just like the celebrities do. Do you know that, funny enough, we have people that come from the very low background and wish to live this kind of lifestyle these celebrities live, and they actually attain it through internet. So at the end of the day, they want to do whatever these people do. During the pandemic too, I could remember somebody telling Whiskey that I think there was this who wore it better challenge then too, who wore it better, and people that, you know, these people, if for you to have this kind of money to buy this kind of Gucci, man, you have to work maybe like 20, 30 years. They are wearing Gucci and they are telling Whiskey, you can't even rock it the way I'm rocking it. Do you get? So what is my point here is that these people live the kind of life they want, and they don't expect anybody to judge them. They don't expect anybody to say anything. So now, when we have another 10, 15 million of our population living that kind of lifestyle, then it is becoming a norm. Are you with me? It's becoming a norm. It's becoming what everybody would see as, well, what will we do to it? There's nothing we can do to it. So we just accept it. And at the end of the day, we are losing our values. At the end of the day, we would not have any value to say, okay, in this place, so this is how they do. People don't wear this kind of clothes. People don't say this kind of things in public, blah, blah, blah. There will be nothing of such again. When we were still young, you dare not talk about two elderly people dating each other, or you saw them. If you ever see something of such, you know it to yourself. You can never say it outside. You know it. But today, my guy, opposite is the case. So I feel we are going to lose that value in the long run, and nothing is going to happen. That's why.
Now, like, your point basically is that it's creating social decadence, and we're losing our values. But now, Shadi, one thing that that I hear people say often, the moment we bring up the topic of, wait, this person is, why is Davido doing this, or why is Whiskey doing this, and the reaction you hear is, you are there complaining about him, he's making his money. He's making it as if, exactly. Are you at that level? At least he's making his money. Almost in a way that it makes you feel like, wait, okay, so whatever someone does, as long as they are making their money, is justified. What's your reaction to that kind of thinking?
Okay, number one, aside we trying to get faster westernized than what how we are supposed to be westernized, because let's not take out the fact that westernization has actually caught up with us. Another thing, despite it catching up with us, we've lost our morals, our social values. So even things like Yahoo and all this is not now that it started, and it didn't even start with the young ones. Because how do you want to advise a young person not to cheat when your politicians move freely? Like, they cheat like a whole nation, and then they walk freely, So who is the father that will caution the child? You get? And even parents look up to their children to go out and source more. So now you, a father, now that you've been working, let's say you're a civil servant for 35 years, and then you ended up retiring. What you like, even your pension, your child that you both know that your child is not working, it's not like he's a tech bro or something to earn that kind of amount, or you don't see him doing anything tangible. But then he spends lavishly, and then he gives you this money. You can't talk. You can't say anything. So the whole value system and everything has affected us generally. And with this, saying this now, we come up to say, you have to work hard for your money. Now, what they will say is that you have bad belly. That's the truth.
Why are you investigating the source of my money? Did you investigate the source of my poverty?
Go and hustle your own. And then there was something that I actually noticed: the rise of social media in Nigeria. Because if you check when Wizkid and Davido actually gained popularity, if you notice, that was when social media came at its peak, and then it captured a lot of youth. Now they flashing their shoes. I remember then Wizkid, his carrot jeans, his Supras, that lifestyle. Then you see a young boy.
That sounds like, in fact, I'm surprised it's still fresh in your memory. I'm sure the last time I heard that Supra was like 10 years ago. That was a long time ago.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That
But you didn't even know what Supra is.
Oh,
I don't like it.
That's like crazy
No, that's a straight shot.
That's why I keep telling her that if she can go back to the days of Linda KG, she will know that Whiskey is not a nice guy, but the guy has calmed down. He's not a nice guy, but he has calmed down. So when things like that started, when we started seeing Whiskey, a young guy, maybe you don't even reach your age, because then I was in uni like, person when don't reach your age, see what they do. The pressure became worse. Let's put it that way. The pressure became worse.
I know super. Okay.
Pressure became worse. A lot of us wanted to feel among. A lot of us wanted to, belong and all those. Then I think that also worsened our whole fraud case. But despite the social media, because if you look at it, is it really their fault? They were just living their lives, The young guy,
newly found fame.
He was able to make the right connection. Number two, it's part of his trade. He needs to dress that way to make him relevant. He was a youngster. They were trying to do something different. It's just like the same way then too. There was this argument about the kind of wigs. Wigs. I don't know if you remember how expensive wigs used to be. Everybody wanted to be like Beyonce, Not knowing that Beyonce's wigs, she was using it to make more money. When she goes for her shows, the shows pay for all those things, the attire, the clothing, the hair, and all. But we don't consider it that way, We just see someone looking good. We don't think of the hard work that had gone into it. We don't think of if this is just business to them.
Or the process behind it.
Exactly. But all of us just, we just want to, and then the society that we are into, we have to belong, We have to belong. You have a guy that doesn't do anything, doesn't earn anything, but is on social media giving you points. See, Danerega, he comes on social media like say he's a well articulated guy coming to drop him, and somebody else will run with whatever he has to say. So these are the things. Number one, we've lost our values as a society. We've lost our values. I don't know if it's redeemable. Because I believe it's a westernization thing. So it's not even a Nigerian thing.
No traces.
It's just that we've made it worse. Like we've made it worse. But as it is, trust me, as it is, I don't think this will be the end of it. Be the end of it. That's the truth. I don't think this will be the end of it. And I don't know what we can even do as a society to improve what's going on.
What one thing I think is, when you look at the fact that you say, okay, we're talking about young people, and we're talking about when the generation that is coming now, I'm even talking about people that are still like teenagers now. If their parents did not have values, then what values are they going to transfer to the children? And then the children too come with 50% or 20% of values. By the time they give birth to their children, they transfer just whatever they know. And society is getting to a point that we cannot even recognize our own society anymore. And
do you even know teachers are the ones that are having it worse? Because if you've been a teacher, or if you have friends that teach the youngsters, you'd hear things like parents saying, "Don't caution my child. If you want to caution my child, tell me. I'll be the one to caution the child." And we both know your parents won't do anything.
Yeah.
Your parents won't do anything. We've had cases of young parents coming to say, "Oh, I'm not saying go ahead and be beating your children unnecessarily, but even Bible says spare the rod and spoil the child." But we just feel like we need to be friends with our children. We need to first, you are a parent before you are a friend to your child. And see, what you don't caution from now, you will suffer it later on. Those values that you didn't imbibe in your child while growing up, you wouldn't expect when your child become a teenager, all of a sudden you should gain those values. Do you understand? As a
Yeah.
teenager, you can't even hold him. Like, you can't caution that child. And
By
the
the time
child
a
is
child is
already
a teenager, it's too late.
it's already too late. Even from 10, if you don't take time from 10, a lot of us left primary school to secondary school at what age? Then by the time you get to school, you already have friends and then different backgrounds and different, so it's already too late. So when you check things like that, me, I don't know. I think society is a big issue, but then how to resolve that issue is what me, I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
Because there's little we
Let me
can
bring.
do individually.
Yeah.
There's little we can do individually. In as much as I believe, oh, do your part, every other person will do their part. But society is not the matter of do your part, I do my part. It's a matter of a lot of us coming together to to
To
become
make
that
changes.
society. Yes, to cause
Mm.
that change. But
Because it is the bad child that would influence the good child to do bad things.
exactly. And if
Mm.
you have more of the bad people outside, how is the society going to be? Not even this generation that nobody our own generation self, if you talk to us, especially when we're already growing, when we already feel like we have our own ideologies. Now imagine the generation coming behind.
Mm.
Like um, there's a lot of work. A lot of work that
Okay,
I don't,
let
I
me
don't even
bring
know how to
Peju.
advise.
Let me bring Peju into this conversation. And Peju, being someone who is a little bit younger, you are basically caught in the middle of two generations. One generation of um, parents that are strict and trying to enforce this, and then your own generation where I would say that almost 90% of what you learn is internet related and connected. How, amongst your friends, amongst your peers, how would you judge the level of values that are left in the society? How would you be able to say what looking at generations that have passed before yours and your own generation, do you think that with this social media there is it's a lost cause, or do you think there's any chance that maybe there are still a few good ones amongst them?
Okay. Social media is actually what most of us are on right now, and most of us learn from it in a good way and in a bad way. But to me, I feel that everything that happens in a person's life is a personal decision from the person's side. So if I see something that I like and maybe my parents don't like it, and I'm just looking like, oh, why don't you people not like this thing? And my peers are doing the same thing and they're getting away with it, and nothing is happening to them. I'll feel like, oh, my parents are just old. That's why they don't
Yeah.
like what other people are liking. So I feel mostly is the people you associate with that would determine your character or what you choose sometimes.
But do you think there's so much pressure on your generation right now?
Yes, yes.
But do you think the pressure on your generation is more than anything any other generation has faced?
I don't know about that, but because
Let me
in
let
our
me
parents'
expand that
time,
question. Uh,
they might
Peju,
they might not have that much pressure because their social media was not even there that time. They used to
Peju,
fly
please
first to go
just
and
give me
meet each other.
1 moment. Just give me 1 minute, please.
Okay.
What do you people see as pressure? Like, what? How do you define the pressure that you people say you are on?
Okay. The pressure I'm talking about is influence from people. I can be lonely and I might see people that have plenty friends or something. And I'll feel like, oh, what am I not doing? Or what am I not having that I cannot have friends? So you can like go into a bad decision or enter depression. Then you can also see someone that you don't have money because of you don't have money, nobody's hearing you. And this particular person has money. That's why everybody's hearing this person or wants to know what this person wants to say. So just to be relevant in the society, most people influence themselves to do things just to be relevant.
So basically, fine, you admit to the fact that there's pressure, but at the end of the day, it comes down to an individual's decision of
Yes.
what they want to do or what they don't want to do.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. On a final note, I want to talk about this thing that we talked about fame and money and everything, and we talked about the levels of the likes of Two-Face, Wizkid, and co. But there's something that is one relevant about all of them. They have this class and everything. But my question is, how come someone like what's his name, Zazu, is also having scandal?
Because Zazu has money already now.
So even with this behavior and the way he does, why is it that he's still also there are a lot of women flocking after him? Is it his own little fame too?
The thing is that wealth brings respect. So anywhere you are, even if you're in the jungle and you have something that everybody finds attracting, everybody will follow you.
So that means that as for women, does that mean that there's okay? Let me put it this way: does that mean that there's a woman for every kind of man?
Yes, there's a woman for every kind of man. Yes, because if you notice, it's caliber of women, they fit each other.
Caliber of women.
Yes, so they fit each other, and you see that
Shots
they fit
fired.
its own
Shots
kind
fired.
of people.
Okay. All right. I think it's been an interesting episode because we've seen different perspectives to this issue. But before I round up, I don't know. Ade, do you have any closing remarks?
I think it's more of a how it is more trending on the guy side, and we don't see so much attacks like that on the female side. And it's not like the guys that are all over the side of social life. We also have a lot of females talking the social life too. So it's funny how we have this gas goes more on the guy side and not on the women side.
But you know that sometimes some women too feel the heat. For instance, to our Savage felt the heat when our video dropped. Things like that.
All these other guys, so they've had this scandal. But who comes out and be like, to our Savage, you find it come. Who comes out and be like, she was pregnant for somebody? Nobody. So
maybe because it's not possible for a woman to be pregnant for multiple people at the same time. But a man can impregnate multiple people at the same time. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Peju, Sade, Hafeez. Thank you for joining us on this episode. You guys made it very interesting. And I also thank you for the new perspectives that you were able to give the conversation. It was really, really mind opening. Till next time, this is Straight Yarn Podcast. We would talk to you some other time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.